Welcome on the show called Yatu Vibes on Prime TV. Excited to be here, and we're here getting to talk about conversations that really matters. Today, we're talking about the proposed copyright bill that has been proposed that needs serious redrafting with a key of stakeholders brought to the table to provide key submissions aimed at strengthening copyright law and making it move with acceptable intentional norms and based practice. So this bill does not in any way addresses the basic needs of artists created by lack of up-to-date legal framework. So we're here to talk about basically the bill that has been proposed, and those who listen to Joy FM the past week, we have had countless conversation with different artists trying to find out whether they know about the proposed bill. And imagine, most of them said they have no idea, but they've been seeing it circulating in WhatsApp groups. Some maybe because they didn't take keen interest to find out. And this is why we decided to dive into the conversation. Sadly, our today's guest was even telling me, saying, today could be the last day of submitting. Welcome, Mr. Mwembe.
Oh, thank you very much,
Good having you on the show.
It's an honor being on your show.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing a lot for Zambian music out there, the promotion and all. We're very thankful for that. I think that's somebody who has a passion from the heart. You know, it's very, very important, and we definitely do appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about the bill. And like I said from the intro, few people are aware about what's going on. Is it because they just decide not to pay attention to what's going on?
Well, I think, you know, when it comes to the bill, this is a very important document. This is a 100-page document that we're looking at. As musicians, as artists out there, I think it was also important that also from the angle of PACRA, it was important to put out some, advertisements of some sort, you know, in print media, social media, especially social media, you know, TV, so that, you know, the message trickles down to almost everybody who's an artist out there. Because this is a document, these are laws that we intend to put in place that will affect the artist who's out there, the artist who's actually the owner of that copyright, who's the creator, you know, that copyright, you know, which brings food, bread and butter on the table of that artist. So it was important that enough time is put across. Because look at this PMC. Today is the 31st.
Yeah.
And today is the deadline. We've only had about less than a month, somewhere there, you know, for this whole issue, a 100-page document, for people to be able to go through it, you know, understand the importance of it, you know, and be able to say, okay, fine, these are submissions that we shall make here and there. The subtractions are A, B, C, D. But for me personally, as a musician, as an artist, I hope PACRA can consider, you know, say, okay, fine. We know it's a deadline.
Extending?
Yeah, I'll say, okay, fine, where we wish to extend, so that more and more people, you know, more and more artists, you know, play a role in this bill. Because it's about the artists themselves. The beneficiaries should be the artists. So let the artists, the stakeholder, be able to speak out, you know, and be the owners of this bill at the end of the day. Yeah.
In case someone is watching, maybe they once again, they have no idea what the bill is about, the proposed bill is about.
Yeah.
Maybe shed more light on what are these proposed
Copyright
bill, copyright, infringement.
Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. Copyright, intellectual property. Okay? Let's say PMC creates something. He records a song. Okay? It's your creation at the end of the day. You have created that. So that's your intellectual property. You have the right to benefit from your intellectual property because it's your work. You know, when it comes to collecting royalties at the end of the day, whenever somebody wants to use your copyright, your song, okay, they must be able to remunerate and be able to pay you at the end of the day. So copyright is about, you are the owner's PMC, so you should be able to own the right. And when you own the right, you have the say to that right that you've created. So the bread and butter part of it comes in whereby people are able to pay you for the works that you've done, the music that you've done, etc., etc. So the bill itself, this is a collection of, these are the drafts that are there. This bill itself, when it goes to Parliament and it's passed, it becomes law. So that is why it's important for the musicians, the artists out there, to be able to have a huge say in the document itself, because they are the owners of the bill. So whatever is supposed to be put in that bill, you see, should represent the ideology, the mindset, the rights of the creators. It shouldn't be in the other way around, whereby PMC finds himself, he cannot be able to, to be paid if somebody wants to duplicate, or somebody is performing somewhere, okay? He just performs the song and not remunerate and pay something. Or if it's playing on a radio station, TV station, there's supposed to be some money that is coming to PMC in the end.
Okay. Now let's talk about if this bill,
yes,
like passes through, what are some of the advantages that we're going to have?
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you this. The deadline is today, okay? That's the submission, okay, of what the artists feel they want to be put in the bill, okay? So we're talking about the time frame itself, that it's quite too short, So the way it is this, at the end of the day, what is going to be contained in that, okay, is very, 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 very important. It should come from the artists. So if you put in a short kind of like time frame, it sort of like does not apply too well to the artists out there. You know what I mean? Huh? If we look at the advantages and disadvantages, I'll tell you what. The disadvantage is that the time is too short. Okay? So some of the articles that are in the bill, okay, probably somebody will not be able to have enough time to look at 100-page kind of like document. You know what I mean? According to that time. Because if you look at what is contained there, some of it is not applying too well on the musician or the artist.
What are some of the things that you disagree with?
Well, for me, I'll tell you what. I think copyright should be handled by a private kind of like arrangement. Just like I was saying. I'll give you an example of Zamcops. Zamcops is totally run by the musicians themselves. Okay? It's an entity where the musicians will gather, come together. They have an AGM. Okay? The members, they'll come and elect those that they wish to be on that board. Okay? They're fellow musicians. If you look at the chair going down, it's all represented by the musicians themselves. We co-opt probably 3. We have the right to co-opt about 3 from these other government institutions. Even the police, we can co-opt and bring them on the board itself, because they're stakeholders in as far as this issue is concerned. So when it comes to arrangement that is there, some of the article which is there, whereby you want to have a board which is consisting of probably 3 musicians that are sitting on it. It sort of like defeats the whole essence of the copyright owners, because I believe and feel the copyright owners should be able to have a higher say. A voice should be applied. But I'm not ruining out anything. Today is the 31st, and I believe PACRA will be able to listen, because at the end of the day, even the government itself, at the end of the day, the government, I know they want to see a thriving industry, an industry whereby artists and musicians will be able to thrive and will be able to earn from the art. So we, the musicians and the artists, are saying, please look into this affair, because this affair concerns the artists. Because if it concerns the artists, as a father, as a government, as PACRA, they should be able to listen to the interests of the artists out there. Let's look at it from a long-term kind. This is a long-term kind of process. Because even tomorrow, 10 years, 15 years after, we should be able to see artists thriving and be able to build and be able to bring up more studios, be able to, be able to create companies, be able to employ other people as well. But if we rush a law that is not benefiting the musicians out there, I believe we'll be killing the artists themselves. We'll be killing them. Some of them that are busy trying to put up these studios, and are busy trying to, even promote others. If they're not getting their money's worth, their remuneration from the works that they do, I believe we'll be killing our so-called industry. I say so-called because I believe at the end of the day, I feel we don't really have an industry. That I think that can be a debate for later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because due to the fact that the laws are not sticking, we're supposed to have laws that are sticking, an industry, a framework that is governed by these laws. When those laws are there, we know that if somebody is, let's say, for instance, performing in a stadium, this is the money that is supposed to be paid to that DJ or paid to a musician. It's so much. It is written and it's there. I think that's a debate for another day.
Okay, so how much time do you think it should be proposed if there's an extension that should be added on?
Well, on the extension itself, personally, I would have loved even 3 months. Okay. It should have gone down the line. 3 months should have been put in place. I'll also say something. It's about 3 years. Is it 3 years ago? We actually did sit down with Pakra. We sat down. There's a workshop, a 2-day workshop, which was held right here in Lusaka. So some of these submissions were done. They were made. Musicians, artists came to that gathering, and some submissions were done, were made. So at the back of my head, I'm thinking and saying, but those submissions were made. But when you look at the proposed bill as it is right now, it's in the same state, it was. So I'm wondering and saying, but why wasn't the submission taken into consideration? And I pray, I know Pakra's got the interest of the artists, that these submissions that are being made right now, let's work on them, please. Let's make sure that the artist out there is able to have a livelihood, is able to earn, from the works that they're creating, and that the copyright stays with the artist, which is very, very important.
We're moving in a time where things are changing. Things are no longer the same. Maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, there's now AI coming in play, where anyone can wake up and make a song.
Yeah.
Are those also concerns put into consideration?
Yeah,
definitely. Like you know now, in your time, in your days, music was where we see that the artist is the actual artist who's singing. Nowadays, even PMC can wake up today and create. I'll just command AI saying, this is what I want AI to create for me. Does that make me an artist also in such instant? Are these concerns also being put into consideration?
Well, I've seen the AI part. I think that also concerns AI as far as this bill is concerned. I'll tell you one thing. AI, when you create through AI, there have been some music that has been created. It is not entirely you owning the copyright. I think the creators of AI have put in place a mechanism that even if you upload that music, whatever platform that you upload it to, definitely the royalty is not coming to you. It is bound to go back to the creators of the AI because there is no originality that is there. You know what I mean? Huh? Because when you look at these CMOs that are there, let's say for instance Samcoms, the way you operate, and as far as copyright is concerned, is on an international basis. Okay? One of the issues also that I have seen, the problematic with AI. Yes, okay, let me not say problematic. I think as far as AI is concerned, there should be a level which you can be able to use it, but don't go full time because it will be more like on a disadvantage on your part. So as a musician, I think it will be able to identify itself because when you use AI, go out there and try to play live music. Play that music which is there in the AI, like if full time you've used it to the fullest. Definitely, I know you'll be chased off that stage. That's how it just be. So these are some of the issues as well which the bill should be able to tackle. And like I said, at the end of the day, a lot of submissions are being made. We know today is the 31st, and probably towards the end of the program, I'll be able to share where exactly the artists out there can be able to, go and be able to make their submissions, even today being the deadline.
Okay, a quick one. I'd like to find out, in case someone is watching right now, they're watching this conversation today on the 31st. I also like to find out, where was the bill put in place where in case someone didn't have an idea of what is going on, maybe they can just read through. Like you said, not everybody was aware about it.
Sorry, I didn't get that one.
Like in case someone never had the chance to get to read where, like the bill, the copyright bill,
Yes.
where can someone find it just to read and have all the information?
Or where can they access the bill?
Yes, they access the bill.
I believe definitely. Like looking at today is the 31st. Definitely Pakra, the website of Pakra. I'm sure somebody can be able to access it and get it from there.
Okay.
And be able to go through it.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you have to print probably 100 pages. You know, especially those people that have bad eyesight. Usually, when it comes to phones or laptops, you tend to have these itches here. But you can just go there, use your laptop. You know, even your phone, if you can manage, just be able to go through it.
Okay.
You know, I think that's one of the ways that you can be able to do that. It is also important. I want to urge our artists out there. You know, more especially coming from the music point of view, that it's also important that we take a keen interest in this bill, because let's not look at things in a short-term kind of period. We should be able to look at it from a long term, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not as artists, you know, this is bound to affect us, you know. So it should affect us in a positive kind of way. It should affect us that we made the right choice and we spoke out to say, okay, fine, this is our submission and this is what we want, you know, to be put in place as law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Run us through, like you said, some of the information that you needed to give us regarding maybe the bill, some of the things that the viewers need to know.
Well, I'll tell you this. In as far as submission of making submissions, you know, I'd love the artists out there to know that it is very simple and straightforward through your phones. You know, your laptop is online. You can just go to copyright dot amendments at pakra.org.zm. That's copyright dot amendment at pakra.org.zm. This is where you can be able just to submit whatever you feel should be contained in that bill. So make sure, we know it's the deadline today, but you can still add up and say something towards this bill, which is actually your baby as an artist.
So on 14th of January, on Parker's social media, they posted about the deadline. That was on 14th. So I'm just checking it out right now.
Yeah.
Inviting stakeholders and members of the public to submit comments on the copyright bill.
So that's actually just 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Because it was posted on 14th.
Yeah, 14th. I'm just checking right now. The protection of copyright related rights. The bill is available for public review.
Scrutiny.
So that is on www.pakra.org.zm right there as well. So in case you haven't seen the bill, go there and get to the information. You can still submit even today, last days.
Exactly. You can still do that.
Okay. Is there any other information that we need to know?
Well, I'll emphasize here.
Yeah.
To say, I think it's important that all stakeholders, our submissions are put into consideration. This bill is for the artists out there. So let us make sure that we take keen interest in it as artists as well. You know, we lobby to see that at the end of the day, it represents the ideology, you know, and it's beneficial to the musicians and the artists in general out there. Because if we let it just go at the end of the day and not take part, you know, we will just be ourselves to blame. So I urge the artists also, when it comes to such issues like this, make sure have a keen interest. It is important that you have an interest. Just pick up the document, one or the other, read through it, make sure, read, and make those submissions. Please, let those submissions keep coming.
In case I don't know, what type of submissions am I supposed to make? In case I have no idea. Maybe, for example, you as Mr. Mwembe, what type of submissions did you make?
Well, for me, I feel at the end of the day, like I told you, I feel that CMOs should be run privately, you know. That is the way they are run internationally. We have ZASO, we have ZAMCOPs. These are run by, they are more like private entities. Like I told you, musicians come up and they vote their own boards into place. Okay? I feel changing the setup of the boards will not really add so much value, you know, to the copyright itself. I feel the owners of the copyright should be able to have a bigger chunk, a bigger say in as far as these issues are concerned. So those are some of the submissions that I'm making. Also, there's what we call blank media levy. Blank media levy in as far as audio is concerned. Audio blank media levy concerns about these phones that are being imported, the flash discs that are coming into the countries, the laptops, any gadget that enters the country and is bound to carry some music on it. This is more like a compensation in as far as the loss that happens when it comes to the music aspect, music part of it. Because music, it's not all the time that you get compensated out of it, But this is a strategy, a way that has been applied internationally as a blank media levy, whereby musicians can be compensated from the losses which they incur in as far as their copyright is concerned.
Yeah. There was one of the questions that someone was asking, saying, Vapakra, you want to take over copyright from us creators. For example, in my own understanding, if the Ministry of Education says they want to use one of my images of paintings, they can use it without getting permission from me and without my authorization. Yeah. Pakra, you want to be the player, referee, spectator, and goalkeeper when it comes to our work. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I agree with what he's saying. Because if you do a painting, let's say you've done a painting, and let's say, for instance, any other person or government wants to use it, and you're not compensated for that. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you going to buy? What food are you going to survive? Like I was telling you, you're not going to survive, because it should first of all also come from government institutions to be able to pay, and remunerate, the artists out there. Because I know government should make sure that the artists thrive in the end. Because art at the end of the day, we have the Ministry of Arts, which looks into these affairs of the arts. So the ending should be that the ministry, looks after the arts and wants a thriving kind of conducive environment for the musicians, the artists in general. So a painting, if anybody wants to use it, they should be able to pay that artist, because it's their bread and butter. That is what they're going to use to feed their family. But if you take away that, at the end of the day, will that artist continue even doing that? Because it will not be beneficial at the end of the day. That artist will be starving, So I don't think we want to go in that kind of a direction. Let us make sure that we empower the artists out there so that they are able to be built, they grow bigger, and more artists, these that are coming up, the young ones, should be able to be inspired and say, wow, that man draws paintings. Look at what he has done. Look at what he's doing. We should make sure that inspiration also is going down to the young ones, so that we build and have more painters, more musicians out there, more script writers, more book writers. That will be a better direction and better way to say, okay, fine, I think we're adding up also to the GDP of this nation. Because art in general, look at countries that are thriving, Nigeria, South Africa. If you go to Tanzania, just right here, art is big time, it's thriving. Okay, we're yet to get there as Zambians. Go to Nigeria. The GDP, the art is adding so much to the GDP. They're employing a lot of people, and as far as the economy is concerned, they're taking their art internationally. A lot of forex is coming to the country. When you have such kind of an environment like that, I think then we'll be able to see, okay, fine, we are building and doing something. So that artist who is doing a painting, hey, he's entitled. That's the creation. That is his intellectual property. I created it. So why should it be that at the end of the day I'm not being compensated? Anybody that uses my work, at the end of the day, they should be able to pay me for that. That is my work. Imagine whereby you have a home, okay? And you set up, you work, set up the table, the dining table, the food is set up on the table. Now, before your family goes and starts to eat, then you come and find the food is being eaten already. You feel very bad. So as Pakra, I know even as government, they'll definitely look into those affairs because it's the cry of the artist to have a bill that is representing the artists out there, the artist's interest.
Not every artist is talking about it more. Like we expect the entire industry to also participate.
Yeah,
that's what I feel. Because I'm still checking out some of the concerns, which are very important concerns. Someone said the time frame.
That's exactly
for reading, like you said, through 100 pages is a joke.
Yes.
And also someone said this bill is a joke. You guys are not serious. Why would you want to steal? Why would you want to steal from creatives in broad daylight? And also someone says, I have a lot of questions, but the time frame is just too little. Someone also said, this is not modernization. This is you trying to take credit for work you haven't done. 100 page of reading the bill, like someone right here saying the time frame for me just to read 100 pages is just too little for me just to understand. And today, like we said, it's a deadline.
Yes.
For someone who's watching, like I said, this is a question that I keep on asking myself. And imagine some of us, maybe we are not even halfway reading the bill.
Yes.
We're not even halfway, but we're just now having this conversation because we still want to find out more about it. Are you done reading the 100 page?
Well, I not yet. I
How
haven't
far?
finished. Maybe 70%.
Okay.
Because you know the way that the 100 pages. These some of the bill itself. This is a law. So it's also important that you consult. Even consultation is done outside from your reading. There are certain clauses you will not be able to understand, especially maybe coming from a layman's point of view. So you seek advice from somebody, even your lawyers. You'll be able to say, but can you please explain to me, what does this mean exactly? It may be phrased in a certain kind of a way, and you will not really understand. You may, okay, it's talking about this, but what really, are the consequences if we choose to stick to what is written there? So probably somebody can be able to come up and say, I find this article is saying so. It implies A, B, C, D, F, G. Looking at 14th of January, I mean, that's too short a time, So that's what I'm saying right here. I'm saying, okay, fine. Stakeholders maybe meeting. Fine. Before anything goes into process and everything goes forward, it'll be also important that maybe a stakeholders meeting is held, or maybe workshop is held, whereby these submissions can be looked at. After the submissions have been made, probably with PACRA, maybe even a stakeholders meeting is held. So, okay, fine, we received A, B, C, D, such kind of submissions. So the direction that we choose, we shall go A, B, C, D, because you people, the artists, have submitted this, and I think let's go in the direction that you, the artists themselves, wish to go.
Okay. Your final message to the public, the viewers that are watching, in case there's something that you we haven't discussed about, something that you wanted to talk about regarding the bill. Is there anything that you wanted to make sure that you address on this conversation?
Well, I'll say this to my fellow artists out there. Art is your bread and butter. For some of us, we've thrived since inception through the arts. We live through the arts. We breathe the arts. We see the arts. And I know you also do the same in as far as your works are concerned. If you respect your works out there, I think it's important that make sure you make those submissions. Make sure that you add a voice to this bill, because it is your work, at stake. So at the end of the day, that work pays you. So do not let anybody infringe on your rights. So stay focused as artists out there. Let us make sure that this bill goes in the rightful direction. I know PACRA will be able to listen. I'm saying that because I know they should listen to the artists. I thank you.
We're back next week, same time, same place, right on Yato Vibes. Today being the deadline for the bill. Mr. Mwembe says too soon for the bill. The public needs more time for them just to read through and understand the bill. I know the public might not even have information on what's going on right now. Yes, it might not concern you right now, but it may affect you somewhere, somehow in the future. This has been Yatu Vibes. We still have different conversations coming through right here on Prime TV next week.